Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Yeah, okay, so let's start off with the Pandora, the
Ugh,
Hope Weaving Queen. We have a 2-drop 2/10 double white, and it says
ugh.
if you would roll one or more dice using Force, roll that many dice plus one instead. How do you
So
feel about this card?
I definitely think this card should have said if you would roll one dice using force, roll two dice instead.
Hmm.
In a way that is worded so that you can never be rolling more than two die
I don't think
off
that.
of a force one.
Right, so you just don't want someone to have multiple Pandoras out, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't want Pandora to stack.
Why? I don't see it's an issue of Pandora stacking. I'm just glad it's not like doubling it because I would like to see, a force. I would like to see force not even be in the game at all, right? But in
Yeah,
some hypothetical world where they print a card that has like force two, where like the card itself rolls two dice, then like you
yeah,
still need to be able to have Pandora buff it to three dice, or else.
yeah. No, I want it to be worded so that Pandoras don't stack,
So then yeah, just
and
say
that's it.
like on the card Pandoras don't stack, I guess. But I don't think it's a huge issue. I hate that she's like fucking giant. Um,
Yeah, in limited, she's going to be insanely difficult to get off the board. Especially since I mean, all right, so this is still really weird because we want to talk about the lack of removal that we've seen, and we still haven't seen the two colors that they put removal in,
well,
black and red.
they did put removal in white, so you can't use this card as a blocker, or else it just
Yeah,
gets like shot out for I think 1 mana or 2 mana.
it's
But
one mana if your ruler is
it's
the
1 mana
guy,
if you're zero, which I mean
and if you're playing white,
we'll
that's your
get to
ruler.
zero in a second. But
Yeah,
I'm not. I do like that this card is playable because they could have just like made this like a 2/5 or something, or like a 6/6, some bullshit where it's like it's not going to stay on the field through anything meaningful. But they did like utilize their design space properly and go, okay, we're going to make this cheap so that it's like easy to get on the board, and then they're going to make it like beefy so that it's not like proactively killing you, but like you need to deal with it because it's going to make all your force things happen more often.
yeah.
What I don't like about this is I can very easily see a potential worlds format where you go like, if you have the energize and you can like turn one Pandora, and then like your opponent can like also like turn two Pandora, and then it really just becomes a matter of
The
whose
Pandora War.
no whose kid Puss in Boots actually makes it to be a 10/10. Because then like if you double force on your kid Puss in Boots and you just end up as a 9/9, then you can never fucking like get in for beats because this thing is just gonna fucking block the shit out of you. And
Yeah,
then if your kid Puss in Boots does end up like a 10/10 or 11/11, then like you can swing freely. They can never fucking block. It's just like that sounds so awful to like have in a format. And it seems like right now, we still have red and black, so like who knows what's gonna happen. But the idea
yeah.
that worlds quality games could be decided by who gets the Puss in Boots up to the right number is fucking garbage to me. I am so terrified that might happen.
It reminds me of League of Legends. I want to say it was a year or two ago, where Doublelift was went on a whole rant about how he was tired of critical strikes determining professional level games,
Yep,
and I feel like that's what we're going into right here.
potentially, yeah, definitely. So one cool thing about this with Kid Puss in Boots is now we like actually have an average of what Kid Puss in Boots should be, because
And
like
it's just
when you
yeah,
have one dice on Kid Puss in Boots, so you can say the average is three or a four, but really it's not like going to be a three or a four every time. Like if you look at how many times you play Kid Puss in Boots and how many times it deals damage, like yeah, it'll average out to like 4 or 5 damage. But like actually rolling two dice, now your Kid Puss in Boots is looking to be an 8/8 for 1 mana. Like you're gonna roll on average a 7 with two dice more often than you roll any other number. So it's like an 8/8 for 1 mana is pretty good. And that's kind of good because it is under the 10/10, and like you will get into a lot of situations where your Kid Puss in Boots is just an 8/8. You attack, block with Pandora. Okay,
I mean, well, the problem with that is if you're playing white, you have the removal spell for blockers, so like you can just attack in with that, and it's like, all right, do I want to risk losing my Pandora on the block,
that's
or do
fair.
I
I
just
mean,
want to eat the damage?
it's we'll have to see, but I mean, if I've got a fucking 10/10 Puss in Boots, like I just like, well, I definitely don't block. I guess
Well,
I
yeah,
need a quarter
obviously,
of my life,
yeah,
so that's terrifying. I hope we have better strategies to be able to play because I would hate for this to be the most optimal because it seems,
yeah. It
God, I
seems
hate it.
awful.
But
I'm gonna have
fuck
to
if this
practice
ends up
my
being
dice
true.
rolling, God.
Yeah, practice my dice rolling. Alright, let's move
Alright,
on.
on to
Oh, is there
and
anything else force-wise we should talk about this card? Because like obviously Kid Puss in Boots is like the end-all be-all. But
yeah,
there's also the Grim, the
Grim.
3-drop.
Yeah, no, the fact that Grim is now going to give your entire board up to somewhere between +2/+2 and +12/+12 for
Yeah,
1 mana means that Pandora could swing in for a quarter of your life very reasonably.
yeah, that's terrifying. And then we've also got the untap edition, which draws a card, and then it's untap Fairy Tale or Human J Resonator. That untaps Pandora, so you could like, or like you gotta like swing with your kid Puss in Boots and untap it as well, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you really want to play Millium instead of Zero, it gets to attack for, it gets a double force. That seems a little insane. And it's just like really easy to get Pandora onto the board and then have it not die.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially,
as of right now.
but once again, we have not seen any of the removal colors.
Yeah. And honestly, like it's also a little scary because we are going to be a limited format. Even if you do play the removal, like you have to see it on time, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, well, I drew Pandora. I drew double Pandora, and you didn't draw your, 2 mana black removal spell. So I guess you just lose, friend. That's something I'm a little worried about.
Yep.
It really depends on like how much removal we get and how efficient it is, if you ask me.
I'm not expecting anything. Well, I don't know, because we have the structure decks as well. You would imagine that if there's going to be cheap removal anytime in the block, it would go in the structure deck.
You would hope. You would hope. We
Yeah.
do have white removal, which is something we like haven't had in the past. So maybe we will get some removal.
No,
in
we've
every
always
color.
had white removal. It's just always
we?
been awkward.
Is it? I don't even know.
Rancross is a card. Bedivere is a card.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, we have
Yeah.
had white removal.
See what I mean?
I just removed
It's
that
just
from
bad.
my brain.
Oh wait, Sign to the Future. The best
Yeah.
removal spell in all of Forcible, Sign to the Future, is a white card.
Anton makes a good point where we can just thunder the Puss in Boots on enter, but only if you leave red mana open. And it is a little awkward in limited, like depending on how much instant speed you have. Like I can't always afford to just leave red mana open and then not use it. Like
Yeah.
you can't just put
Like if I'm playing red, I would assume I'm playing. I don't think I'm playing like mono red control. I think I'm playing on curve as red always has.
yeah. The other point to this is we have
But I mean, I guess it, like-
ruler, and they have
Yeah.
like so far made it a trend of the ruler sides have pay 1 mana do something. So if the red ruler has like pay 1 mana do something that you can like reasonably do every turn and like actually leave that mana open for, then sure you
Yeah.
can like leave thunder and mana open and not get like.
I mean, the
super
other thing
punished
is
for
like
it.
if you're going second, you have the Energize.
Yeah. But I want
that
to play
mana's always
Lancelot
there.
on turn 1. What are you talking about?
Well, we don't have Lancelot.
You want to bet? I bet you they reprint Lancelot. I don't give a fuck. They
L0
reprinted- They
Lancelot.
reprinted Thunder, AJ. They're gonna reprint Lancelot.
All right, that's
Next
not
up.
unreasonable.
Pandora's Mark of Hope. So we have another Bestow edition, right?
Yeah.
When this card doesn't have the cool J Resonator thing like the Flying Cloud does, but
It's fine. This card's broken.
whenever this card is bestowed to a Resonator, it gets +4/+4. And then if the Resonator dies and you force 1, then you just gain life. So I really like this card because it's 1 mana to play, and then it's just 1 mana to bestow. So anytime like you just want your creature to be bigger, you're just like, here, dude, +4/+4 for 1 mana, and it just sits on the field. So like your first dude you play this on, it's 2 mana. It's a little expensive. You probably won't play this on turn 2 or like maybe this card drops on like turn 4, right?
I mean, I could see you playing this on turn 1 if you don't open Kid Puss in Boots.
It's possible. Oh yeah, you can just play it on turn 1 if you don't have like another thing, and then like
Yeah.
as you like play creatures, you just like buff them, and then when that creature dies, you just like randomly gain life for free, at least 200 up to like 1200, which is another fun interactive mechanic that we might see at this Worlds format.
Yep.
And then when your creature finally dies and like you gain life and it's no longer the +4/+4, you can just put it on another dude. And like 1 mana, like buff your dudes by +4/+4. That's right in line with like rapid growth. So it's definitely like in line with the proper tempo for the combat tricks that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
And it's just like the fact that it can just keep going on dudes, going on dudes, going on dudes. I really like that for the Worlds format. Not for New Frontiers, not for like any.
Yeah,
existing,
no.
Like,
The one thing that I do like is that Forcible did not fuck up in the design of the new additions in that, so unlike Magic, all of our creatures attack individually instead of simultaneously, so being able to move additions around at sorcery speed is fine for us because we get to stagger our attacks.
Right.
Which is why they made it tap in order to bestow, so that you can only bestow it once per turn.
Yes.
So I can't go like, throw it on a guy, attack, throw it on another guy, attack, but you can have it on a guy at the start of the turn, attack with them, and then throw it on another guy and attack.
Yeah. And on top of that, your guy has to die, so you can't just like have it on a dude and then bestow it on another dude because you can only
Yeah,
play this ability when it's already not bestowed. So
yeah,
even they even like doubled up. So now it's like, oh, I attack with this guy, and then like you just like sure I'll take it. And then you can't like bestow it on another guy because like your creature's still alive. It's a little
yeah.
bit more weird with like Levantine, Guinevere, Adam Rowe,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But for
I was gonna say
Wormstorm, it's
like
perfectly fine.
in New Frontiers with like Levantine, I could actually see that being a bit of a problem with not this card in particular maybe, but some kind of bestow card.
I could almost see this being playable in Red White Knights, especially because it's the +4/+4 threshold where you really want
Yeah.
to be hitting your lands a lot. I think it's just a little bit too mana inefficient
I
to
mean, I
actually
think
be playable.
I think it's better than Blood Covered War Axe.
Yeah,
I think it
I
is a
can see that. No,
strictly better Blood Covered War
I
Axe.
can definitely see that. But so like maybe like the Red White Knights could see playability in New Frontiers. I'm not too sure about that.
I mean, it did take third place at Nationals.
Yeah, I mean like does this card see play in that deck though? Is my point.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not a Knights player.
I guess we'll have to ask Billy. Paging Billy,
Yeah,
where are you?
we'll hit up Billy.
Yeah, but overall, like for Worlds Format, I like this card. It's like good, it's playable.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by I like it. Am I happy about it being playable? Like I don't know, but yeah, no, it's good. Yep. Next up, we have Pumpkin Carriage. It is a 2/12 fairy tale that
It's
you
not
can
Pumpkin
tap it.
Witch.
What?
It's like the opposite of Pumpkin Witch.
Yeah, and then you can give basically just like put the stats of this card onto another fairy tale. And for 3 mana, I'm unimpressed. I don't think this is very good.
No. The only use that it has is Fringe uses is like um if some of the black or red removal is damage based,
Right.
then like this will put you out of the threshold. But I don't think it's worth it to pay 3 mana to throw a potential anti-damage spell on the board to just sit there.
Yeah. So
Because I don't think anybody's killing Pandora by doing damage to it.
So part one is it's only fairy tales. It's not fairy tales or humans, and Pandora's a human. Not sure if you
Oh, is
caught
she?
that. Yeah. So on top of that, it's 3 mana,
Okay,
which
actually
is
everything that has
insanely
been
expensive.
this week is a human.
And if rulers, if removal, like even if it is damage based, doesn't matter. Like removal, like white already has magic suites, which completely outclasses this card.
Yeah.
Because not only is Magic Suite searchable by some random 5/5, but it's also just like really, really strong compared to the Pumpkin Carriage in terms of dodging removal like that. So I'm unimpressed. I don't think this card sees play at all in any
I
format.
think it sees play because I take a Sharpie and I make the white symbols black and I write witch instead of carriage. And then I have a good time.
No,
But that's it.
no.
That's all you get.
There's no incarnation. There's like it's actually kind of it's still kind of hard to make Pumpkin Witch degenerate in this format.
Yeah.
Remember how long Pumpkin Witch wasn't even played because it was just like you just didn't really have the cards for it, and then it's like, wait,
Yeah.
oh, we're reflect, so it's easy to like see this card, and then we can incarnate. Oh god, okay. It all just kind of piled on once. So next up we have Safeguard of the Light Palace, which I think is insane because it looks like Singed.
Yeah, so it looks like Singed. It is the most
This guy.
efficient addition removal we've seen in Limited so far, I believe. Which with the new bestow mechanic, I think additions are going to be very prevalent in Limited.
I believe that. I could definitely see this card seeing play strictly due to its addition removal. What was the other card that we had? The attack again and draw a card, or untap a guy and draw a card, or destroy addition.
I think so.
I think that card
That was
might.
2 mana?
Yeah, I think that card might be a bit more playable than this card.
I mean, this puts a body out, which might be relevant.
Yeah, but it's a 7/7, right? I'm not
Yeah.
super thrilled about a 7/7 for 3 mana. And I
It
do
kills.
like the other
Oh,
card
it trades
being
with Puss in
instantly-
Boots.
Yeah, but like I guess I don't know. I'm not sold. I guess it really depends to see like what the testing looks like for that format.
I mean, like if you're, I mean, I don't think you're gonna be short on creatures in white. So like maybe this isn't as good. And you just play the other thing, especially if your
Yeah.
kid Puss in Boots gets up to like a 13/13, untapping it to draw a card or destroying an addition seems pretty good.
The other thing which Anton just mentioned is we had talked about this last night is it's not optional, right? So this card comes it has to
Oh,
destroy
yeah,
an
that's right.
addition. So I think if additions are popular enough, like if the bestow, and it does seem like bestow is going to be really good. I don't think it's going to be an issue for this card. I doubt we're going to see any like way to, oh, this card's on the chase, sack off all my additions, so you have to kill your addition. But
I definitely don't think that'll happen, but
Yeah.
it is
But like a 7/7 for 3, I'm just not thrilled
He's
about that.
mediocre.
Yeah. Next
But he
up,
does look like Singed.
yeah,
Oh.
which is terrifying. Next up, we have a 1-drop 3/3 that can tap to gain 200 life.
Alright, I'm just gonna skip that one.
Yeah, I don't think this card is good anywhere at all. It's a
Hurts.
human, not even a fairy tale. Oh
Yeah.
boy! Next up is Zero, the 6th Sage of Light.
Oh boy, this
So-
is a fucking card, man.
We judge for 2. Energize Light. You can pay white mana to make target resonator get +1/+1 till end of turn.
So you've got a mana dump, even when. Oh god.
And then for black, you can just fucking like strip a guy of everything.
Yep.
So with Magic Sweets being a white card, leaving white mana open is just what you want to be doing always and forever, right?
Yes.
And then on top of that, because you're 0, let's just also skip ahead and talk about Zero's Magic Light, where it's a quick cast, and if your ruler is 0, then it costs 1 mana. It's remove target attacking or blocking resonator from the game. So,
One of the. Oh, go ahead.
by leaving open white mana, you can already, just by the cards we've seen so far, you can already represent Magic Sweets to protect your dudes, or you can represent the spell I just mentioned, whose name I already forgot, Zero's Magic Light, to be able to, just exile dudes, right? It's not even like, it's just remove them from the game, so it's not even...
Which, as irrelevant as it may seem, it does stop Pandora's Mark of Hope from gaining life. Because that is only when the bestowed resonator is put into your graveyard.
That is true. So you have multiple options open to threaten by leaving mana open, and then either if you don't actually have the card in your hand, or if your opponent just doesn't play into the card, then you can just be like, okay, before untap, pump my guy. All right, cool. Like you're just getting a lot of efficiency out of this card's ruler side. And if for some reason you end up playing black, you have a pretty good way to deal with the green cards that we were talking about.
Yep.
Where like the big bad comes in as like a 22/22 swiftness flyer target attacker, and then he just comes in as a 22/22, and he doesn't hit you the same turn he comes out, which is like kind of cool. But more importantly, on the J ruler side, after you judge for 2 mana, by the way, we have an 11/11. Which I think Jordan had said is the biggest J roller we have for that kind of mana cost. Notable comparisons are Gil Lapis, who's a 12/12 for 3, but one of his stones has to be Moon, which makes it awkward. And then we also have Bloody Snow White, who's a 13/13 for, I think, 1 mana if you discard a Bloody Apple.
Poison apple. Yeah, otherwise it's 4.
Yeah.
Joan d'Arc is 0 at all times, I believe, but you have to have killed a human.
Yeah, but she's like a 12/12?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So, like, right off the bat, she's just, like, ginormous. And then she has target attack, or precision, as we call it now. Yep. And she doesn't take damage while battling. So she gets to target attack your dudes, and then as long as, like, she can kill you, like, it doesn't matter how much damage you do back to her, she's just not going to die by battle. You have to explicitly use removal spells.
Which is terrifying, because we historically lack J-Ruler removal.
Yes, I believe we have Lightning Strike in this format, and Lightning Strike only does 500, so you need 3 Lightning Strikes.
Because you can't even get that 100 off with, like, a chump block.
Yep. And on top of this, all of your opponent's J Resonators lose Flying, First Strike, Swiftness, Precision, and Imperishable. So...
Which means that if you are both staring down each other's zeros, neither of you have target attack.
Which is kind of relevant. I would say very relevant, actually. But on top of that,
it wouldn't matter, because, like, you can't target attack each other anyway, because nobody would die.
Yeah. But you can't, like, remove Kid Puss in Boots like you want to.
Yeah.
This card seems like the best ruler by far.
So far, yeah.
2 mana, 11/11, like, is great for limited. I don't even think you flip it on turn 2, because, like, you want to get up a bunch of mana, and, like, it's fine to just, like, keep pumping your guys with your mana. Like,
I don't want to be playing the game on 1 mana just for an 11/11.
Yeah, and then, like, just our ruler side is really strong, and just because, like, we have, like, really good white cards, like, you actually want to see, like, 4 or 5 white mana before you start judging. And then when you judge, like, if red decks are popular, none of them get swiftness. The green decks they don't get flying. Birds of Paradise doesn't have flying. J-Ro doesn't have swiftness or flying. Like there's a lot of good shit going on for this card for the limited format. Now we'll talk about this card in
New Frontiers.
New Frontiers. I don't see this beating Reflect, but in a world without Reflect, I'm I'm
Even
thinking about it. I'm not
even
sold.
regardless of not beating Reflect, it is because when an Alice cluster first came out, we saw Reflect was not. I mean, Reflect was the dominant force, but it wasn't in everybody's minds. We saw people fiddling around with Xion. We saw people fiddling around with the Blazer.
Mhm.
And I think Zero is going to be the new Blazer in that aspect, where people fiddle around with it. It may not always win an event, but you will see it pop up. It's not unquestionable to see it pop up in the top 8 at one or two events.
The thing that like really puts this in my mind is like, okay, obviously Black Moonbeam still exists, right? But we can
Yeah,
play Windsecluded Refuge,
yeah.
and if we're playing Windsecluded Refuge, then our colors are green white, and I think
And
that
we're
green
playing
white,
Seal.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
running Seal. Like you actually have like a lot of really good options there. I don't think you run any like the fairy tale bullshit, but like
I
Magic
don't think
Suites is
so.
still a pretty good card.
You do get like the Angel package, Interdimensional Escape.
Yeah. And on the ruler side, you have the black target Jade Resonator loses bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And like green, white, black, that gives you Seal, Scorn, Lapis Storm. Like that's actually a pretty good color combination. You could even play like the stealth package in this because like if you want to go black, like that's fine.
I don't think you could play the stealth package in
You
this.
want to bet. You want to bet. So
Yeah.
like I really think that like green, white, black is great control colors right now. The only thing you lose is like space time anomaly.
Yeah.
But you get Seal and Lapis Dark Storm, which are like just the things you want to be doing at all times. So especially with a Reflect Band, I could maybe see this being popular.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 2 mana 11/11. Good God. I don't even know if you need Refuge. Like just
Just say fuck your moon. You don't have it turn one.
yeah, I don't know. And yeah, just like the mana dump of pump guys. It's just so good. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted to see out of like the design from Forceful. I wanted to see good ruler sides. I wanted to see like quality cards, and yeah, you get like the 1 mana removal spell when you play it, which we'll continue to get to.
Yeah,
But like this is
like the fact that the black makes you decent against aggro,
yeah,
I think is very important.
yeah, because even if it's like Shining Strike, you just like, oh, you played a dude, nah, you do nothing right now.
Yeah.
And she beats Rezard 1.0 because she gets rid of Imperishable. That's
No!
important to know.
This is the worst ruler ever. Nobody's allowed to play this. This is bullshit.
Right, next card.
The
Going
last
down
card
the
is
hype
already
train.
covered.
Yeah, let's just
The,
go ahead and skip ahead to the Zero's Magic Light since we already touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
If your J ruler is 0 or your blah blah blah, you may pay it for 1 white
No,
instead
it's
of.
it's. Oh wait, yeah, J. I was thinking of the bird. I was like,
Nope.
it's just J.
And it just says remove target attacking or blocking Resonator from the game. So it's just like a super hyped up, super hyper good Artemis Bow. The condition's a little bit awkward to activate, but you're literally just 1 mana, like, get the fuck out of here. I think
It's
there's
not
a
even
magic card
awkward.
like that.
Somebody has to attack you. Yeah, definitely.
Isn't it like Swords to Plowshares?
Hold on.
I don't know enough about Magic to say it, but if it is the card, I'm pretty sure this card is like, there's a version of this card in Magic that exists and is good. Is my understanding.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't know if that's true. It just sounds familiar to me, and if my limited understanding of Magic the Gathering, it sounds correct. But I think this card's pretty good. Like
Yeah, this card's bonkers.
even not in 0, like 2 mana exile your dude, like that's a good card. I would see this being played in any format, to be honest.
I remember. I don't know if you were around for this, Ryan, because I don't think you got started until Bahamut format. But
Yep, that's true.
So Zero, the Magus of Null.
Yep.
There was a card called Void Blast,
Yes.
which was a 3 mana destroy a creature, and it cost 1 black mana if you controlled Zero, the Magus of Null. And I thought it was a little awkward for them to revolve these kinds of cards around controlling a Resonator as opposed to a Ruler. So I do like that. They're kind of following suit in that, and we now have a Void Blast attached to your Ruler instead of this weird random Resonator.
No, I agree. I like this card a lot.
Yeah.
And last card of the set, of the spoilers anyway, is Zero's Familiar.
Yep.
This is a 5/5 flyer for 2. And
So
it gives your J Ruler barrier. Where
So the first thing I want to point out is that this card does not say J-ruler. This card says J/ruler, meaning that your ruler gains barrier.
That's so useless.
And I feel like that is going to be relevant at some point in Lapis Cluster. I really hope it's not. I hope they learn
What?
from Valhalla that you should not be able to fucking interact with your opponent's ruler.
What existed in Valhalla that allowed you to interact with your opponent's ruler?
It was both players flip their ruler and then their J-rulers battle.
Okay, does
And
that target?
if you were playing Grim, you lost the game, I believe,
That's funny.
because it can't flip over to battle.
But like, did that card even target the ruler? Or did
I
it
would
just say
assume
both
so.
players flip ruler? It doesn't say like flip target ruler, right? It just says both players flip their ruler. It's like Soul Hunt. Both players banish a Resonator.
Both players flip target ruler.
I think this is the ruler. Like I'm trying to like even think of a card that would be a good idea, that would be playable, that would like interact with your opponent's ruler.
Black Moonbeam for
Does
rulers.
final forfeit target ruler? And target ruler loses its ability. Like I don't.
No, that says J.
J resonator, yeah. So I don't see that being useful. It's like okay, it exists. Keep that in mind. But like then you're playing a 5/5 for 2 that makes it so your ruler can't be targeted, which is like irrelevant. And even when you play 0, it's not an 8/8 because it's only an 8/8 when you flip your J ruler.
Yeah, which is good. I don't think this should be an 8/8 for 2 just because you're playing a good ruler.
I think it's neat because then it like so when you actually flip this card, right? When you flip 0, you
Yeah.
have an 11
No, I'm
11.
saying it's good. I'm saying that it is balanced in that it should definitely not get the +3/+3 for the ruler side.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I agree. I just think this card's like excellent synergy because you get an
Yeah.
8/8 for 2. Your J ruler already can't be targeted. It doesn't take damage from battle, and while you control this dude, it also can't be targeted by spells or abilities. So you're
Which means it's essentially an unkillable unless they have a non-targeting destroy J ruler card.
or like deal
Um,
damage to J ruler card, yeah.
no, because it can't. Oh yeah, well it's battling. Yeah.
Yeah, it can take. So like I'm trying to
Yeah.
think if there is any J ruler targeting or
I mean, not.
non-targeting J ruler because Flame King Shout only hits resonators.
Yeah.
Flame Trap only hits resonators.
I believe there's a card from BFA that deals 800 damage to everything,
From BFA,
both
no.
players and all J resonators. Let me look it up
Oh,
real quick.
yeah, you might be right.
Because me and Matt Kane were talking about it when he was trying to build his weird burn deck.
So on top of that, it still like doesn't even kill 0. So you need to play 2
Yeah.
of it. I'm not sold that it will be. I don't think there's anything that will break this lock. You have to actually just like kill the Zero's familiar, which is an 8/8, and then also somehow have like even more removal to be able to kill a 0, which is like, well, good luck, you know.
Yeah.
And well, let me know if you find it.
Um,
But for now, that's it for the new spoilers.
Never mind. It is
What's it called?
a Vingolf card.
Let me pull it up.
Large explosion. This card deals 800 damage to each player and resonator, so even that doesn't hit J's.
5 mana spell chant.
I didn't say it was good.
Does it even?
I said it existed.
God, yeah, no, I'm just saying. J/res. Alice Cluster.
I'm actually gonna look at J/res for Lapis cluster. See what we've got so far.
Oh no, jokes. I thought Whelp Drake hit J Ruler. I'm not seeing it.
Wait, what? Hold on. Tell me this isn't real. Tell me I just misread this.
Maybe you can Endless Night 6 times.
Hold on. Oh my god. So, fun fact.
What's up?
You know Grim?
Grim.
He pumps all your J
I
resonators,
did see that, yes.
and Zero is a human.
What is... Oh, so basically Grim pumps 0.
Yeah.
Only for the
So,
joke, but yeah.
well, yeah, but I mean, I'm saying
I mean,
it looks like we'd be playing if we were playing mono white. It looks like the fairy tale route is the way to go at the moment. Just because pretty much every white creature has been a fairy tale. And Grim would pump 0 is actually extremely relevant.
no, that seems correct. This is definitely, like... So, it's hard to say, because we've seen more white cards than any other color
Yeah.
right now. But, like, so it's obvious that white should be the best, based on what we've seen. But, like, I do overall enjoy that, like, these cards seem very playable, and I would like to see more playable cards from the other colors, so that
Yeah.
we actually have interesting choices instead of, you know, play red, white, blazer, or do nothing kind of thing.
Yeah. So far, I'm excited for Worlds.
Alright, well, I think that's it then. Thanks,
Yep.
AJ, for stopping by and talking about
No
these cards
problem.
again. And thank
We'll
you,
be
everyone.
back in a few days for whenever the new spoilers drop. I don't remember what their schedule's like, but I know it's like every few days.
Alright, and that's it from me as well. So thank you everyone who watched. We'll be back next time there's more spoilers to talk about the cards. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye-bye.